Ecclesiastes 11, when you have it, say, I have the word. Verse 4 from the English Standard Version, it says, he who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. Proverbs 18 and verse 9. Proverbs 18 and verse 9. It says, he also that is slothful in his work is a brother to him that is a great waster. Let's look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, get to work. Get to work. Get to work. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. Get to work. Get to work. For many of us, struggle has become so exclusively dominant in our life that we, in our mind, have made struggle equivalent to normality. Struggle has become just a part of our life for many of us. And when I talk about struggle, and I want to bring this to light, because whenever we think of the word struggle, we automatically run to finance. But any form of struggle, because everybody in here ain't struggling financially, right? And so any type of struggle that you have in your life is what we're addressing tonight. It has become second nature in a sense, because we find ourselves in a place where we expect struggle. We expect failure. We expect lack. We expect being at a low. However, despite what you feel on the surface, despite what you experience month to month, week to week, there has to be something on the inside of you that is tired of failure, tired of lack, tired of coming up short, tired of the embarrassment of struggle, tired of living in fear that at the beginning of the month, that because of the bill list that's ahead of you. It has to be something with you that's tired of living in fear. Some of us experience struggle because of the refusal, watch this, to hear the voice of God concerning our calling, gifting, and opportunities. In order to experience a change, you have to have a desire for struggle to be eliminated. Somebody say, I want struggle gone. Now, the problem that is often overlooked is that a lot of us are tired of struggle, but not tired enough. Because most of us, we jump and shout when we talk about the anatomy of our struggle being dropped and being eliminated. But that shout seems to hush a little bit when we talk about the change that we have to do to bring on what will make our life better. Now, I must submit to you in a sincere humility that most of our struggle, and this is the thing we don't like to hear, most of our struggle is our fault. The reason for continual struggle is we've been too busy pointing the finger at people and situations when we are looking for a place to hang our hat of blame for our adversity. However, another level of maturity, watch this, could be moving your life and your mind from victim to responsible. Tell your neighbor, stop shifting the blame. If someone knocks you down, it's their fault. If you stay down, it's your fault. If someone breaks your heart, it's their fault. But if your heart stays broken, it's your fault. Are y'all with me here? If God has created us to succeed, continual struggle is a negation to authentic purpose. Struggle is sometimes a tool used by God to bring a kind of discipline to our life that would someday eliminate struggle. Let me say this again. I said struggle is sometimes a tool used by God to bring a kind of discipline to our life that will one day eliminate struggle. However, watch this, continual struggle goes against God's plan and purpose for your life. I'll tell you, neighbor, it don't have to be like this always. Therefore, we must do something in order to rid our lives of the weight that was never intended for us to carry. Hallelujah. Too many of us are up for change until we find out the work that goes into change. You ever seen somebody set out to do something, but then when they see how much work it's going to take, it just changes their mind? Some of y'all did it this week. You know, you went to clean out your car and then you saw how dirty your car was and you put it off to a later time. You know, it's tomorrow. You said tomorrow I'm going to start my workout. Some of you were supposed to start January 1st. You've already pushed it to March. You said I'm going back to school. But when you saw how many pages that FAFSA application was, how many classes you got to take, you just changed your mind. Napoleon Hill says this, and you heard me quote this before: procrastination is the bad habit of putting off for the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. And we procrastinate because we want to avoid work. And we want to avoid work because we're lazy. Lord have mercy. You're going to have tough skin today. We could be further along now, and we would have moved forward and making other plans in our life and completing those plans, but we procrastinated. You have to make up your mind that you want better, and whatever it takes, I got to get better. I have to get better. This is not how my life is supposed to be. If you're a real saint, you'll shout off this message. This is not the legacy that I want to pass down to my children or my grandchildren. This is not the educational level that I want to remain. This is not the only level of my anointing. This room is not big enough for my gift. I need my gift to make room for me. I need struggle out of my life. I need abundance flowing through my household. I need joy attached to my assignment. I need strength in my mind. I need more money in my bank account. Holler at somebody and say, I want better than this. Want better than this. Well, if you want better than what you have right now, you have to work for it. See, the reason y'all ain't shouting is because we have spoiled you all. We made you think that all you got to do is get sweaty and musty, shouting and dancing in church, and then God's going to turn everything around and give you everything that you want. No. After you finish shouting and dance, that's to turn on your faith. But after you walk out of here, you got to turn on some work. Because faith without is dead. Tell your neighbor, you have to work. Now, I think you have to understand, work takes effort. Work takes effort. Work takes discipline. Lord have mercy. Work takes structure. Lord have mercy. It takes a positive mindset. You got to have some structure in your life. Anybody who have sat in any leadership class, the first thing you've heard me teach about is prioritization and organization. And a lot of you, the reason your life is so messed up right now is because it's too chaotic. You got too much going on and you have no order to your life. You have no structure to your life. Your priorities are out of whack. You get up in the morning and you just go about your day. You have no clue of what you're supposed to be doing day to day. You have no to-do list. You have nothing planned out. You just living from day to day, and whatever happened, happened, and you're trying to figure out why you're struggling. Working for better will include organizing your life around God-approved values and practices. Hope you're writing this down. If you want better in your life, it will include organizing your life around God-approved ethics and practices. Until you change what you organize your life around, you will continue to be unsuccessful. We have to stop connecting to things and people that can't help us reproduce. You can't afford to be connected to what and who makes you feel comfortable in your place of insufficiency. Lord have mercy. You must mature to the place where you can sincerely disconnect from those, watch this, who will be a crony to you. Some of you got too many yes men in your corner. Nobody in your life will tell you the truth. Nobody in your life will tell you, no, the reason is because you got a nasty attitude. Nobody will tell you that, no, you're arrogant. That's why you can't go further. Nobody will talk to you and tell you the truth. All you got around you is a bunch of fans. Always somebody around you that babies you. Growth will only come to those who are challenged. You need to survey your circle. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you're in a dumb season. You have to connect to dreamers, because connecting to dreamers will keep you from living a nightmare. I wish I had a church to talk to about this right here. Now, to experience change in our lives, we must change ourselves. The only way to empty ourselves of negativity that's holding us back from better is to put ourselves, watch this, in an environment positive and powerful enough to change our mindset. I'm going to say this again. The only way to empty ourselves of the negativity that's holding us back from better in our life is to put ourselves in an environment that's positive and powerful enough to change our mindset. The problem is most people are not consistent enough with keeping themselves in a consistent place where they can consistently be exposed to the thing that eventually empties them of negativity. Lord have mercy. Some of you get around people who are on a higher level, but you don't stay around them because they make you feel uncomfortable. And so you can never get to the place that the thing that's on the inside of you that's negative is emptied out of you, because you won't stay in an environment consistently enough around people who are consistent on their level of operation that can help you empty what's on the inside of you. Touch your neighbor and say, survey your circle. It is in this thought then that we understand the importance, watch this, and the authenticity of distance. Oh yes. Some people you've been around too long. It's time for a change in your circle. Time to change your friends. Distance is important and it takes maturity. You must distance yourself from people who don't have the same strive in life as you. Now, you can bring confusion to your life by being connected to people who can't see anything better than what's going on right now. Some of you need to examine your friends, and you need to find out why they always broke. You need to find out why your friends always looking raggedy. Why their hair ain't never done. Okay. All right. Why they ain't got no educational degrees, none. They ain't even trying. Better look around your life, watch this, because you are the average of your circle. One of the major things that upsets me and frustrates me to my heart is to look around and see in church and in ministry, Bishop, gifted failures. People with all the potential, but no thirst, no hunger to do more. Just satisfied with failure, satisfied with being average. I know individuals right now who have written songs and so much music, but haven't attempted to do anything with the gift. Just all the power of wealth in their hand and nothing to show for it. What do you have in your possession right now that you're doing nothing with? Gifts that God has given you and you're doing nothing with them. God didn't bless you with gifts. He didn't bless you with callings and opportunity for you to do the bare minimum and be average. It's an insult to God to sit around gifted, talented, and broke. It's an insult to God to sit around with potential and still struggling. It's an insult to God to have an opportunity of education and you sit around with no degree. Get out of the bed. Get off the couch. Turn the TV off and do something. Hit your neighbor and say, do something. You got to do something. Now, I need you to understand, Proverbs 18, Solomon says, he also that is slothful in his work is a brother to him that is a great waster. You got to watch out for people who are surrounding you that are always overspending. Wastage, overindulgence, irresponsibility, always sitting around with lost opportunities, squandering. It's bad management. It's bad stewardship. And so watch this. I want to move forward. Inactivity, sloth, sluggishness is no better. He that is negligent in his work, whose hands hang down, as the word signifies, that neglects his business, does not do it all that he's supposed to do. You can't work and be lazy at the same time. Slothful, as Proverbs declares it. Slothful. Webster says sloth is the quality or state of being lazy. It's the disinclination to action. It is not liking labor. Lord have mercy. You ever seen people, they just hate to work? Now, I'm not saying you just hate your job, because a lot of you don't like your job, but the truth of the matter is you're not supposed to be on that job. You're supposed to be doing something more productive, but you are too afraid to step out on what God has called you to do. I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about those people who hate working, period. Some of you hear this and immediately conviction hits us because we can admit that we are slothful. Struggle loves to live with lazy people because there's no fight for it to leave. I've noticed something about lazy people. They always have an excuse. And they're always wasting time. Refuse to learn better. But they have managed to learn how to manipulate and exploit people who have something. That's why y'all act like I ain't said you. That's why you have to watch people who are around you, who always coming to you with a sob story and excuses as to why they're going through and why they're struggling and why they left that job after 2 months again. You can't blame anybody else for what you do not have because you're too lazy to get up and get it. Being unproductive and lazy adds to your life, watch this, envy. Woo! Because now you are jealous of people who have what you want, when in reality, in actuality, you had the same opportunity, but you didn't want to work for it. Oh, come here, Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel because Abel offered up some better work. But the truth of the matter is, we both had the same opportunity. That's why I don't apologize. And a lot of you need to get to the place. Stop apologizing for what God has done for you. As soon as I get my Genesis G90, I'm driving it straight to church. I'm going to park it right out front, and I'm going to crisscross and cross 2 parking spaces because I work for it. Not apologizing to y'all for what God is doing in my life. I work to get where I am. Touch your neighbor and say, work for it. Paul says, a lot of us, our problem is we keep hiding the blessings that God, I ain't going to say nothing. I don't want to put it out there. No. When I get a degree, you going to know it. I'm going to post about it. Yeah. When I get a house, you going to see the keys. I'm going to post about it. Yeah. I'm going to let what God has done for me be known. Yes, sir. Because everything that I get in my life, I'm not getting just because of favor. Some stuff that God has given me, he's given it to me as a reward for my labor. Tell somebody, I'm working to get where I'm going. I'm working. Working. Yes, sir. Paul says in 2 Thessalonians 3:10, if any man would not work, neither should he eat. Lord have mercy. Woo. If you don't work, you should be hungry. I got two cousins that you know, I pretty much try to teach everything that I know to, and you know, I will pull up if they're riding with me and I pull up to the drive-thru, I order my food. Okay. Then I hit them with the, oh, did y'all want something? We have a second order because if you don't work, the Bible says, neither should you eat, and neither should I feed you. That's y'all problem. You're feeding too many people of what you work for, and they're not doing anything but splurging off of you. Some of y'all pay too many people's bills. I don't mind helping you sometimes, but every month I can't pay your rent. If a man doesn't work, he should not eat. Our problem is we want to eat up money, eat up success, eat up nice clothes, eat up nice cars, eat up college degrees, but we don't want to work for any of it. The devil is a lie. You got to get up and go to work. Watch this. It is more than laziness to be slothful. Slothful it shares the same connotation as the word apathy. Apathy means you just don't care. Lord have mercy. Whenever you sit on your gift and opportunity, it says to God, I don't care. It says, I don't care about the grace that you have shown me. I don't care that I don't deserve this, and I don't care about my life. Ask somebody near you, do you want better than this? If you want better than this, then you have to work to get there. I'm almost done. I've come to understand that when it comes to gifted failures, there is always a disposition and despondency with these lazy people, always walking around looking rejected and feeling victimized, always appearing discouraged or full of despair. Then this leads them to depression and inaction. You have to beware of being around these people. They will find everything wrong with successful people. And if you mess around and stay near them, you'll be miserable and helpless just like them. You have to watch out for people that don't want anything, because they were very apt to not want you to have anything as well. Lord have mercy. God has blessed you with too much for you to sit around and not use your brain. He has blessed you with too much for you to sit back and not use your gift. God has blessed you with too much for you to sit around and not use your testimony. He gave one 5. He gave another 2. He gave another 1. The one that had 5 went out and doubled what God had given him. The one with 2 went out and put to work what God had given him. But the one that had 1 didn't do anything with what God had given him. And God calls him a lazy servant. Watch this. Stephen Shoemaker says, sloth is casting aside your call to be a son or daughter made in God's image, and instead deciding to live as a lower animal. You should not have to struggle with the strength, intellect, gift, and anointing that God has given you. If you get up and put things in motion, God will bring opportunity to your gifting. But God, you know it, will never bring opportunity to people who won't do anything. Many people will start working when opportunity comes, but not a lot of people are willing to work that gives birth to opportunity. I'm going to back up and say this again. I said many people will start working when opportunity comes, but not many people will work that gives birth to opportunity. When God sees you working, it's not luck when things happen your way. Lord have. It's not luck, it's called positioning. A lot of people say favor ain't fair. The truth of the matter is favor is fair. It's for those who are obedient. Yes, sir. It's for those who actually position themselves in a place where God can bless them. Many of us position ourselves in front of impossibility. Whenever you ignore your dreams, ignore your calling, ignore your power, and in return embrace struggle, we position ourselves in front of impossibility. But you must learn to position yourself in a place where God can send opportunity to you. One guilty of sloth usually tries to duck under work. Don't want responsibility. Don't want to be accountable to anybody but themselves. You can't expect for success to grow where you haven't planted the seed of work. The lack of work is holding up many of our level of success. But when you begin to act on what you've dreamed and what you've spoken, you cancel delay. Lord have mercy. See, you can speak it and it begins to manifest. But when you speak it and then act on it, it cancels all delay of it getting to you. Woo, Lord have mercy. If you want to speed up the process of no lack in your life, then you have to begin to act on what you believe. Touch your neighbor and say, don't expect it without work. Our other text in Ecclesiastes 11:4, Solomon says in the Good News Translation, if you wait until the wind and the weather are just right, you will never sow anything. And you will never harvest anything. Solomon explains that if we stand thus magnifying every little difficulty and making the worst of it, starting objections and imagining, conjuring up hardships and danger where there is none, we shall never go on, much less through with our work, nor make anything of it. What Solomon is saying here, if you try to wait until everything in your life is together before you make a move, you'll never sow. Watch this, and you'll never reap. Some of you are trying to wait. When I get my money, when I get this and when I get that, I just got to get this in line first. No. You got to step out now. Tell your neighbor, move now. You can't allow what looks like or seems like it can be a hindrance to stop you from working. The wind is going to blow. Lord have mercy. The storm will rise. Persecution will come. People will turn on you. Struggle will enhance its power. But work has to be done in order for better to be in place in your life. Our problem is we love to have excuses for any and everything. Oh, yes, sir. Whenever you're quiet, your neighbor knows I'm talking directly to you. Excuses as to why we're not committed. Excuses as to why we're absent. Excuses as to why we can't or why we won't. Benjamin Franklin said, he that is good at making excuses is seldom good for anything else. 99% of the failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. Don Wilder says excuses are the nails that build the house of failure. People of slothness are full of excuses and thereby full of struggle. They refuse to exercise dominion and they flee responsibility. When God made us in his image, he made us with the power to move and control our world. Lord have mercy. If God gave you power, why are you making excuses as to why you can't work? For God has given you the power to get wealth. Lord have mercy. I love it when Pastor Saquon was up here and he said we live in a time where heaven is voice activated and all we got to do is say let there be and it will happen. You got to understand that you got to eliminate all the excuses and start speaking some things into existence. Oh, Lord have mercy. God first had the vision in his mind, but then he said, all right, let there be, and there was. See, that's the part of the text y'all missed, because every time he said let there be, let there be, let there be, you got to go back and read it. It says and it was, and it, Lord have mercy. Touch your neighbor and say, when I speak it this time, it's getting ready to happen. I'm tired of walking my life in struggle. I'm tired of being in a place where I don't have what I need. No, I'm getting ready to speak some things and they have to come to pass. I refuse to be broke when I got a mind. I refuse to be broke when I have a gift. I refuse to be broken when I have an intellect. I refuse to be in struggle when I have the power to get wealth in my hand. He gave us power to get wealth, but we can't have wealth without work. Shake somebody's hand and say, I refuse to be in continual struggle. I got the power of better in my hand. So I refuse to always struggle. Some of you, and I'm done, you need to quit quitting and work for what God says you can have. You can have faith that it will come to pass, but even in your faith, you have to work. And when you have faith and you are working, stop trying to explain your faith to people with no faith. Lord have mercy. Stop trying or stop being frustrated when people can't see what you see. That's why you got to stop trying to share your dreams with everybody. Not that they can stop what God is doing in your life, but some people just can't handle everything that God is getting ready to do for you. And just because you see it don't mean they can see it. For some of us, the reason we haven't gotten up by now is because we keep having visions of something better than this, but we haven't made any moves. God says, I know the thoughts that I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil. Watch this. He says to give you an expected end. The question is, what do you expect? Lord have mercy. I expect better. I expect more. I expect happiness. I expect greatness. I expect to be wealthy. I expect to be healthy. I expect to complete the degree. I expect to complete the process. I expect to overcome this. I expect to be on the top and not the bottom. I expect to be first and not last. I expect to have more than enough. I expect to be the lender and not the borrower. I need you to open your mouth and say, I expect it. I expect it. Shake your neighbor's hand and say, I'm tired of failing. I'm finally tired of struggling. I'm finally tired of the embarrassment of not having an offering. I'm finally tired of never being able to help somebody else. I'm tired of being undisciplined. I'm tired of not finishing stuff. I'm tired of getting to the place where I can't accomplish anything. But from this day forward, I have made up my mind that what God has purpose for me to do is getting ready to come to pass. No more holding back. The devil can't shut me down, and I won't allow myself to shut me down, but I shall get everything that God has purpose for me to have. So it's going to happen. I believe that God has something in store for me. I won't continue to cry about this if I haven't worked for it. Stop complaining, looking for somebody to have pity on you for something you never worked for. And in our working, watch this, there has to be some consistency. Just because it's not working right now doesn't mean quit it. I'm sorry, millennials, I know. But just because that job isn't working right now does not mean that you need to change jobs so you can get another $1 an hour. Be consistent. Oh, y'all don't want to hear this here. You got to be consistent. I don't care how long it seems like it's taking the vision to come to pass. You got to learn. See, you can't just shout off the word. You got to live the word. They that wait upon the Lord. He's going to come through for you, but you got to first wait. So today God sent me here just to challenge you to start working. Start working. If you wait for everything in your life to line up the way you want to line up before you make a move, you'll never sow and you'll never reap. Then those of you who have started sowing, be consistent. That's why the scripture says, don't get weary. Lord, have mercy. In well doing, because in due season, watch this, you shall reap if you faint not. I'm done. Everybody standing. Whatever you need, whatever you're desiring, there has to be some work that you put into it. Some of us need to take some time to ourselves, get somewhere and sit down and examine our life. Do I have things in line? I was talking to some of my musician friends this morning. We were talking about certain things. Bishop, we were saying we have a lot of freelance musicians in the church. But what do they do about a retirement plan? What do they do about life insurance? What do they do about making sure their life is in line? Because the truth of the matter is, one day you ain't gonna be able to play no more. And a lot of us, we're in a place that we're not examining our life and looking towards the future. You keep getting up every day just living for that day. You cannot live your life like that. You have to look into the future and get your life together.